let's start in the SEC, and I think when you talk SEC, let's start with Kentucky, Mississippi State. Mississippi State had the impressive win over LSU, got blown out of the water by Georgia. This is kind of even though Kentucky sits at 5-1, it's kind of a crossroads game for Kentucky. You lose this one, you got some other ones on the schedule. You hate to diminish a great start to the season. The game's in Starkville. Mississippi State's about an 11, 12-point favorite. And if you're Mississippi State, this is one of those ones where it's an evenly matched game. You win this one, you can continue on with a pretty strong season, even with Texas A&M still on the docket, with Alabama still in the docket. I mean, you have some other games there. So if you can win this one, maybe it softens the blow of some of those other games to come up. And I think for Dan Mullen, it's just another game to prove that maybe he's the second best coach in the league if you can go in, even though it's Kentucky, but you can kind of keep your team focused and you go out and get the win. So that one, to me, for both teams who are having good seasons, maybe enhancing their season. The one in Oxford is very interesting because we saw LSU lose to Troy 3 weeks ago. We wrote Ed Orgeron off. We said, well, nope, he's done. It's just a matter of time. They got to get through the buyout. They beat Florida. They beat a questionable Florida team, and you kind of don't give them much credit. They get behind to Auburn and come back and win. And all of a sudden you go, okay, well, maybe this LSU team, maybe Orgeron's turning around. It seems like the perfect letdown spot, as bad as Ole Miss is, to go into Oxford and Shea Patterson run around. It's a night game. Shea Patterson run all over the place, make plays with his legs, make plays with his arms, and all of a sudden Ole Miss knocks off LSU and puts Ed Orgeron right back on the hot seat. So that one's kind of intriguing to me for all the wrong reasons. Alabama and Tennessee, I think it's a 36-point line now. Does Butch Jones survive that game? Even if Tennessee doesn't cover, if Tennessee just gets beat 27-0, but the offense gains about 7 yards and never gets past their own 30-yard line, and then Auburn-Arkansas. Where is Auburn after blowing that lead last week? They were sitting pretty at 10 in the college football playoff. If they could have run the table, you would have had a loss to Clemson in Death Valley, nothing to be ashamed about, maybe beat Alabama, go to the SEC championship game. Now you've got that loss last week to LSU. So where's Auburn at mentally? And for Arkansas, I don't know if Brett Bielema is on the hot seat. Well, his seat's getting warmer, but I don't know if he gets fired at the end of the season. But, man, you need a win. You need something to kind of promote that there's positive things happening in Fayetteville. And you lose another one like this, I don't know where Arkansas goes. It's kind of an odd time for that program that should be a lot better than they are. So that's the SEC. So I think you're right. There's not a game that you say, okay, I'm carving out my schedule for Saturday. I'm going to sit down and watch it. But there's a lot of interesting storylines that continue to develop in the SEC.